Hi, I'm Alois Rosario. Welcome to Session 5 of the Ping Skills Training Plan. Our focus for our next 4 sessions will be on our footwork. The focus for Session 5 is on making sure that we're getting our sideways movement correct. So let's start with a bit of physical warm-up. We're going to do a bit of jogging and stretching, and let's do a little bit of sidestepping because that is the focus of today's session. So our on-table warm-up today is going to be a little bit of variation. We're going to warm up down the line. So we're going to start by doing 5 minutes down this line. Now, while you're playing down this line, make sure you go through a range of hitting. So starting off nice and slow and controlled, you can start to speed it up a little bit, and then you can even get into some top spin and blocking down the same line. And then we're going to do 5 minutes down this line here. So because I'm a left-hander and Jeff's a right-hander, we're both playing backhands. So again, go through a variation of speed and spin down on this line. The aim is to make sure that you're warmed up and ready for your training drills.
In Session 5, we're going to do 4 footwork drills. Each drill is going to last 15 minutes where I do the drill for 7 minutes, we have a 1-minute changeover, and then my partner does the drill for another 7 minutes. The first footwork drill is forehand, forehand footwork. So what's going to happen is my partner's going to play the first ball to my forehand, the second ball to the middle, and I'm going to have to play those balls with forehands. Then it just repeats. Back to the forehand, back to the middle. So this is really going to work on my footwork. Now I'm going to play just to one side the whole time, and they're going to block the ball back to those varying spots in turn. So this really works on my footwork. Now the key with footwork is to make sure you're getting into exactly the same position every time you hit the ball. That way you can play the same stroke, and that helps you be consistent. Don't forget, you can also practice your top spinning. It's a great exercise for improving your top spin and your footwork together. Now the movement for this exercise, forehand, forehand footwork, is just a quick, simple sideways shuffle. The second drill we're going to concentrate on today is backhand, forehand footwork. So similar to the forehand, forehand, except the first ball is going to come to my backhand and the second ball out wide to my forehand. And I'm going to again play to the same position I did before. So one to my backhand, one to my forehand, one to my backhand, one to my forehand, and then I need to do the same sideways shuffle to move between the two balls. One backhand, one forehand. One backhand, one forehand. Very similar movement to the forehand, forehand footwork, but now I'm incorporating a backhand and then a forehand, so I'm working on my switching as well. And this takes a little bit of practice to get used to. And don't forget that you can also practice a counter hit on the backhand and a top spin on the forehand. You can also practice top spinning off both sides. The important thing to recognise with the backhand, forehand footwork is that it's a very similar movement to what we were doing with the forehand, forehand footwork. So the reason to keep the movement the same when you're playing the backhand and forehand is that you're never going to move out like this for a backhand, because then you're really anticipating where the ball's going to come. If you keep that same movement, then when I come back to here, I can easily play a backhand, or if it was slightly wider, I can play the forehand. So keep that movement the same. So the third footwork exercise we're going to do is the backhand, forehand pivot. So I'm going to play a cross court, and my opponent's going to play one backhand and then the same ball to my backhand, but I'm going to pivot and hit a forehand. So I'm going to play the same ball, one with the backhand, one with the forehand, one with the backhand, one with the forehand. So this exercise is going to allow me not to get bogged down on my backhand, so I can pivot around and play the forehand. Now the other thing to consider here is I'm going to play a cross court, because if I play down the line and then try to pivot, especially initially when I'm learning my footwork, I'm leaving too much of a gap open wide. So I'm better off pivoting on a ball that's gone cross court. Okay, so now I'm just going to play one backhand, one forehand, and again, it's a similar side shuffle movement. So you're just working on the same movement, but you're playing to a different area of the table. And again, you can start off with a backhand counter hit, followed by a forehand topspin, and then you can work on to playing topspin and topspin, topspin and topspin. So with the pivot footwork, it's the same basic movement as for the other two exercises. But now, it's just a slightly different angle, so it's important to practice this movement. The other thing to notice is that as you pivot, you're coming across the table, kind of on this angle forward. So with all of the three exercises we've done so far regarding our footwork, it's important to know the movement's very similar. So for the forehand, it's a side shuffle, just across the table. Then the backhand, forehand is very similar, just a side shuffle, same sort of movement. The difference is in the strokes. You're linking up your backhand and forehand now. That's why you have to practice it. But think of the footwork movement as very similar. And the last one we did, the pivot, exactly the same. Just shuffle around. Same movement. You're on a slightly different angle, but it's the same movement. So think of these the same when you're practicing your footwork, and you'll improve much quicker. The fourth and final training drill we're going to do is a backhand footwork drill. Now in this drill, my training partner is going to put the first ball wide on my backhand and the second ball into the middle of my backhand area, and I'm going to have to shuffle across again and play backhands. So it's a similar shuffling step, but this time it's with our backhands. Now the reason you want to practice this is because if you start becoming quite aggressive on your backhand and top spinning, you're going to want to, again, get into the correct position to make the stroke. And people often don't practice this on their backhand. They concentrate on switching between their backhand and their forehand footwork, but they neglect this. So we're going to counter that today. We're going to do a drill on it. Play the backhand here, backhand here. So make sure you're shuffling across, getting in good position to make the backhand. So the key to this exercise is getting into a good position so that you would, in a match situation, be able to make a really good attack. So focus on getting into the exact position you need to be to hit a really good backhand. Once again, you can practice it with your counter hit, or if you feel a little bit more confident, you can start to practice it with your top spins. So once again, similar sideways shuffling movement, just like your other exercises that we've done with your footwork today, but this time concentrating on the backhand movement.
So that wraps up the 4 footwork training drills that we're going to do today. Because our focus is on the footwork, we're not going to do any match drills in this session.
So what are the games we're going to do in our training today, Alois?
All right, we're going to start just trying to incorporate what we've done in our training today.
Okay, the footwork?
Yeah, the footwork. So the first game we're going to do is the training drill where you're doing a backhand and a forehand. So I'm blocking. I'm only allowed to block with my backhand.
Yep.
And you have to have it in this half of the table.
Okay.
I have to alternate one to each side, and you have to do a forehand and backhand. So practicing your footwork.
Okay. Am I only allowed to counter hit, or can I top spin as well?
You can do whatever you like. You can counter hit or top spin. I'm only allowed to block.
Only allowed to block, okay. And if I hit it into your forehand side?
My point.
Okay, and if you don't hit it into my half?
Yep, your point. Okay, so I have to make sure I'm getting in the right boxes.
All right, I'm ready. Let's play.
Let's go. Okay, love all.
Oh.
One love.
Ooh, just hit.
Just an edge. 2 love.
Come on.
Now, it's your serve, but we're only allowed to do flat serves. Okay? Yep.
So we still alternate?
Yep, still alternate 2 serves each. Oh, wrong side.
Wrong side, my
Yep.
point.
Yep. 1-2.
1-2. Yes.
2 all.
All right.
10-9. Oh.
Yes.
11-9. Your game. All right. Good game, Jeff.
Thanks, yeah, I was just lucky to get over the line there in the end.
Yeah, but now it's my turn to do the footwork and
my
you're
turn to
blocking.
block, all
Yeah,
right.
what's your backhand block like?
Pretty good.
Okay, well, we'll see.
All right.
Okay. Whew. So we've played one game each way now, Jeff.
Yep,
so for the rest of your 20 minutes of games time, well, let's just play some normal games.
All right, excellent. And again, in the normal game, should we be thinking about our footwork a little bit more?
Okay, so again, the focus of today's session was to think about how we're moving. So during the game, keep that in mind.
Excellent.
So for our service practice today, we're actually going to have a receiver as well. So there's 2 benefits of this. One is that you're both working at the same time, but also it adds a little bit more pressure and becomes a little bit more game-like when there's someone standing at the other end ready to receive my serve. So the serves we're going to focus on today are long and fast serves. So I'm going to alternate. I'm going to serve one long and fast and wide out to your forehand box, and then I'm going to serve the next one long and fast and as wide as I can out into your backhand box. Okay. So I'm going to serve the first one wide to Jeff's forehand, and Jeff's practicing his movement across there. The next one wide to his backhand. So I'll keep alternating and trying to get the ball long and fast, and Jeff's practicing his footwork movement to return. So I'm going to serve for 5 minutes, and after my 5 minutes, Jeff's going to do the same thing. He's going to serve and I'm going to practice my returning. So that wraps up session 5. You've now got to get out there on the table and do the session, and don't forget, once you've completed the session, to record it in the Ping Skills Vault.